What's up, guys? We have a UFC fight, UFC 250, coming up this Saturday in just a day. What time is it right now? Yeah, it's 2:02 in the AM right now. We'll see if I get this video up today. It is the 5th, and yeah, this fight is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, June the 6th, in Las Vegas at the UFC Apex Center. And here's the main card. We've got Amanda Nunes, the champion. She is defending her featherweight championship against Felicia Spencer. That should be a pretty quick fight. We got Rafael Assunção versus Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt is, coming off of a few fight losses, but his performance with Dominic Cruz was just magical. I mean, he was just a smooth criminal in the octagon. But after his loss to TJ Dillashaw, after his losses to TJ Dillashaw, I mean, he's just not been the same since. But you can see that fire, and you can see that passion. I mean, he's still pretty young, and he's obviously very talented, but I feel like, I don't know, he kind of gets in his mind. Maybe he needs to keep working on that a little bit, and not get too emotional. So that should be a pretty good fight. I'm gonna be rooting for Cody. Then we got Aljamain Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen. We've got Neil Magny versus Anthony Martin, and Eddie Winland versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. I want to say Sean O'Malley was just, maybe he had been on a hiatus because of something dealing with drugs. I'm not too sure. Okay, don't quote me on that. Anyway, this is going to be the UFC card 250 main event. Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer, coming this Saturday, June 6th, and so I'm super excited about that. I'll be watching it, and I might do a few reviews on some of the fights if they're exciting. I'm sure they will be. Yeah, but so this past Saturday there was a UFC Fight Night 176, and the main event was Gilbert Burns versus Tyron Woodley. And here are some of this. Here are the stats from that fight. Obviously, Tyron Woodley was defeated via decision, and actually the scorecard at the end of the fight was 50-45, 50-44, and 50-44. By unanimous decision, Gilbert Burns won, and Gilbert Burns was going into the fight on a was it like a 19 fight win streak and only 3 losses. That is very, very impressive. And obviously Tyron Woodley is coming off of a loss to Kamaru Usman, where he lost his welterweight championship. And so in this Woodley versus Burns fight, here's some of the fight stats. No one got a knockdown. Total strikes. Burns threw a lot more strikes than Tyron Woodley, and he connected 73% of his shots. Tyron Woodley 64%. The significant strikes was heavily in Burns' favor. Tyron Woodley only landed 28 significant strikes, but I didn't count any of those strikes in the fight, and I just watched it back about an hour ago, and then Gilbert Burns actually got 2 takedowns against Tyron Woodley, and he did a submission attempt. And Tyron Woodley is not an easy guy to take down, though. In his fight with Kamaru Usman, he got ragdolled. It was not a pretty sight for him, especially going in as the champion and losing the championship. He just got dominated left, right, and center, and that's basically what happened in this Burns versus Tyron Woodley fight. So I'm just going to break that down a little bit and tell you guys some of my thoughts on the fight. So there have been questions about Tyron Woodley if he would be up to the challenge coming off of the loss to Kamar Usman. You know, he clearly did not seem like his normal self in that fight. He didn't seem like the person that knocked out Robbie Lawler to win the welterweight championship in that first round. He didn't seem like that Tyron Woodley. Um, it seemed like he was a little gun shy in that fight, and so there's questions. You know, is Tyron Woodley in this, or is he more focused on his outside endeavors like his rapping and I guess all of the other dealings? So I didn't know much about Gilbert Burns going into this fight, but wow, man, did he put on a performance? I mean, this guy was super charismatic. I mean, even inside of the ring, and then after when he done his victory interview. But he did a phenomenal job. He was constantly engaging with Tyron Woodley. He was constantly throwing kicks. He was constantly changing levels, and he had some tremendous power in that first round. You definitely see that on display, and I think that kind of shocked Tyron Woodley maybe a little bit. Maybe he wasn't expecting that flurry in the beginning of the fight. And yeah, like I said, he kept changing levels. He had you know, amazing power. He kept pushing forward, pushing Tyron Woodley back, and yeah, it was a really fun fight to watch, and he definitely outclassed Tyron Woodley in every which way. So the first round, I mean, it seemed like pretty much a wake-up call for Tyron Woodley. He got rocked early on, and then he got cut open when they were on the ground, and Burns was on top of him, basically controlling him for the majority of the round. Then he almost gave his back up, and almost got choked out. There was a guillotine attempt by Burns, get back up. Round two, Gilbert Burns, he threw a lot of kicks, and even one, kind of shocked Tyron Woodley a little bit, or you see him kind of react to it. So yeah, Burns kept throwing a lot of kicks, and like I said, he kept backing him up against the cage, stalking him down like he was the predator, and Tyron Woodley was the prey. He also took him down in this round, and like I said, it's not easy to take Tyron Woodley down. I was in round three, Tyron, he showed a little bit more in that round, because the first two rounds he wasn't really trying to throw anything, but I guess that's his style of fighting, where he just throws one or two shots at a time, which is very very odd to me. I'm not sure how he got to the top or got this far, because he does stay against that cage, and he kind of circles around, and he really only plays defense. When someone strikes, he's going to counter that strike, but that, I mean, still round three, that was definitely not enough to score him any points in that fight. Round four, Woodley got hit with a knee, and then just a flurry of combinations, and then actually towards the end of the round, he was in deep. Woodley was in deep in a choke. I want to say it was I don't think it was a guillotine choke, but yeah, Burns caught him in a nice choke, and he was basically saved by the bell. Woodley was. Yeah, I mean, round five, basically just a lot more of what happened in rounds 1 through 4. Tyron Woodley, he never pushed forward. He never threw combinations. He never showed that he actually wanted to win that fight. I mean, it was just kind of sad to watch when you look at the Tyron Woodley. I guess when in his previous fights leading up to winning the welterweight championship, it seemed like he had a little bit more fire, a little bit more passion. But I guess that's really how it is. It's when you're the underdog, it seems that you fight a lot more to get to the top, and then once you get to the top and you're there, I mean, it seems like some people, they start to become complacent. Or, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Gilbert Burns, because like I said, he did a phenomenal job at taking control of Tyron Woodley, especially on the ground. I mean, he really outclassed him there. Like, once you get to the top, maybe you come a little bit complacent, or maybe, I mean, you just get beat. I guess Burns is the clear #1 contender for Kamar Usman's welterweight championship, and I'm sure that will be a very good fight, because Gilbert Burns, he's got some really good cardio, has got some pretty sick jiu-jitsu, and so that'll be very interesting to see those guys on the ground. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good fight. Anyway, this is gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Just a quick little video on my thoughts on the fight. Peace.